What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm your host, John Walker, and this week we have yet another show jam-packed with sports. To kick things off, Northwest football was in action Saturday against Central Oklahoma. The Cats outworked the Broncos and finished the game winning 59-10, and as always, we were there to catch the highlights. All right, guys, Rich Wright has preached all season about how Northwest wanted to play a complete game, and one of the emphasis has been special teams all year. And I'd say it's a pretty good start. Imani Donadell down the sideline for the opening kickoff return for a touchdown. You can see everybody in the back on their feet rocking at Bearcat Stadium early. That one was sort of the exclamation point that got the scoring spree going for the Bearcats on the day. And then obviously that defense has been nasty all 4 weeks of the season. And once again, able to torture the quarterback in the backfield. 7 total sacks in the ball game. Watch this one, guys. Big man hurdle alert. Marcus Andrews, whoop, and over the defender. And that 12-yard run would be able to set up a 13-yard touchdown run. Take some ankles there for Braden Wright. That one would be the last thing before a rain delay. And then coming out of the rain delay, here it was, guys. Braden Wright on the scramble. LaTroy Harper down the sideline. Breaks the defender, tiptoes the chalk, and finds his way into the end zone. The football team will be back in action on Saturday against Emporia State. The Cats will be looking to extend their win streak on the road. But first, our reporters Dylan Johnson and Nolan Brooks caught up with Coach Wright on his game day superstitions. Guys.
The game of football to most seems rough and complicated, but it can hold on to relationships and symbols that are eternal. Here at Northwest Missouri State, the symbol of a red hat holds on to the relationship that most had with a coach. I caught up with head coach Rich Wright to see what that red hat means here at Northwest Missouri State.
Northwest Missouri State was playing Wayne State College on the road, and at the time Scott had just worn a hat and never really thought much about it. The guys on the sidelines, that day it happened to be a white hat, and the guys on the sidelines were having a hard time seeing him. And so the red hat came about. His nephew had a red hat on, and he took the red hat and threw it on his head, and it stuck, and ever since he wore the red hat.
When a coach has an impact as large as Bostwick had, it changes lives forever. And Wright knows all about the impact that Bostwick brought to this program.
Treat everybody fair, but understand the differences in people. There are different things that motivate different people, and I thought Scott had a unique way of doing that. Be passionate on the field. That's something. There was an energy about him all the time. He never had a bad day. And, so when you're around somebody like that, it's uplifting. And so those would be the 2 big takeaways that I have.
From the red hat to the red paw on the jerseys, every day should be Scott Bostwick Day. For Bearcat Update, I'm Nolan Brooks.
Thanks, guys. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around. We've got more Northwest sports coming up. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT, Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Up next on Walk the Line, our analyst Jenny James was able to interview sophomore cross-country runner Caroline Ross. Jenny?
Thanks, John. I'm Jenny James, and this week on Walk the Line, we are joined by cross-country runner Caroline Ross. Caroline, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You ready to walk the line?
Yes.
All right, Caroline, you guys competed at Missouri Southern recently. Just kind of give me a recap of what went down at that meet, you personally and just the girls' team.
Yeah. That course is really, really fast, and there were a lot of teams there, so there was a lot of competition. Constantly someone is around you to push you and keep you going. So the first 3 girls that finished on our team did set their own PRs, which was really awesome. Before the race, we were all just talking and just saying we wanted to go out there and run hard, and that's exactly what we did. There were a lot of teams there, and we ended up placing 20th. And on the men's side, they placed 2nd, so that was also really fun to be there and support them for that.
What would you say are kind of your personal goals for this season? Coming off of last year, your freshman season, you had a really good year.
Yeah.
Now you're a sophomore, so what are you kind of looking forward to do this season?
I'm looking forward to just continuing on, building a base from last year. College running is a lot different from high school, so having just 1 year of experience under my belt and coming up this year, I have a lot of goals that I didn't accomplish last year that I'm looking forward to doing this year, and just running fast and doing the best I can.
You mentioned high school running being different than college running. For those that don't really know, kind of explain the difference.
In college, you just run more. It's definitely just a bigger part for me. In high school, I kind of did the bare minimum of what was expected, but in college, I've definitely stepped up what I want to do, and I just run more consistently, and I run faster because of it.
We kind of talked about this earlier, but where did your love for just running and cross country come from?
I started running in 7th grade. Both my sisters ran in high school, so it just was the thing to do in my family. And in 8th grade, I figured out that I was actually pretty decent at the sport. So I just continued on and continued pushing, seeing where my limits really are. And that's how I've ended up here.
So with the guys team, being pretty impressive so far this year, does that kind of give the women's side some more confidence and maybe some motivation to also, kind of get up there in the rankings?
Yeah, we definitely look up to the boys team. They've been working hard this year, and they have a lot of talent going into the season. So I think the girls are definitely, we're excited to be supporting them and pumping them up, and we're excited for next year and seeing what we can do with our team in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so out of curiosity, I've been dying to know this. On average, how many miles a day do you say that you run?
I can tell you how much I run in a week. I run about 50 miles a week. My average, I'd say 7 is what I do on like a normal day, but obviously with like pre-meet and stuff, it's lower on some days. So.
Props to you. I would die after 1. So that is all the time we have. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a quick break, but stick around. We have more to come on Bearcat Update.
Hey there, me again. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. The women's volleyball team had a couple away games and were able to bring home 2 more wins. Cats played 2 teams to improve their record to 11-1 last weekend. Team competed on Friday, taking down Pittsburgh State in 4 sets, only dropping 1 match to the Gorillas. On Saturday, the women swept the floor with Missouri Southern, wrapping that game up in 3 quick sets. The volleyball team will be back in action on Friday against Fort Hays State as they get a little break from traveling and then play the next 5 games at home. The women's golf team was back in action after a week off. They competed at the MIAA Preview in Nebraska in a 2-day tournament. Cats tied for 9th place out of 12 teams, with Anna Zeck leading the team, tying for 7th with a total score of 148. She was followed by Spencer Roach and Morgan Thiel, who tied for 40th and 42nd individually. All of our teams are looking towards one thing, and that's winning a national championship at the end of the season. This is especially true for our Bearcat Steppers dance team, who has had a taste of winning it all and is looking to win back their title this year. Our reporter Sydney Garner was able to catch up with the team to see how they're taking steps to get back to the national championship. Sydney?
The Bearcat Steppers have been working day in and day out to return to that national champion title. Coach Darby Furman and dancer Debrielle Petit-Merrill have high hopes for the new team.
This year we actually have 9 veterans and then 9 rookies, so we're literally split half and half.
I think the team this year has a phenomenal sense of teamwork. Our team motto this year is never me, always we, and that really is shining through in everything the girls have been doing this year.
The Steppers have gained many new members this year as they continue to show their skills and dedication to the team.
I just felt this overwhelming sense of camaraderie with the other people on this team, and just everyone here on this team has sort of welcomed me with open arms and opened up their hearts and their homes to me, and that's just been a really awesome experience.
All of these freshmen are so talented. Their leadership skills are there. They're such respectful girls, and that's what you hope for as a coach.
Planning for nationals is not an easy task, but the Steppers are stepping out of the box this season.
I preach to the girls all the time, if you work hard, you can play hard at nationals.
We're bringing a hip-hop routine to nationals, so a lot of us have been working on individual skills. I know that's one thing I've really been focusing on, is getting new hip-hop tricks. Hip-hop is not my strong suit, so I've really been putting in extra hours for that.
I'm really excited about it because it's obviously something very new to us, and the style that we did learn is like hard but really fun. So I think as I'm learning to adapt into that, it's a growing kind of experience, but it's a lot of fun.
The Steppers will continue to work together to improve and perfect routines to return their national title. For Bearcat Update, I'm Sydney Garner.
Thanks, Sydney. The women's soccer team was able to see some improvement overall last weekend. They kicked off the weekend on Friday with a win against Missouri Southern 3-1, with Tegan Blackburn leading the team with all 3 goals in that game. On Sunday, the team unfortunately was unable to finish out the weekend with a win and fell to Central Missouri. Cats will be back in action next weekend as they take on Washburn and Emporia State. Before we close out this week's episode of Bearcat Update, as always, I have my top pick of the week, and guys, you heard it there. It's the Northwest soccer team. This is a team that got off to a pretty shaky start to start the season and are in the midst of finding a way to turn that around, and it looks like they might be hitting their stride. As already mentioned, the ladies headed to Joplin last Friday, and Tegan Blackburn was able to have an impact on that game, having a hat trick and scoring all of the goals for the Bearcats. Like I said a little bit earlier, and that gave them the 3-1 win. So they look like they're starting to hit their stride a little bit. For that reason, and many bright spots to look forward to, Northwest Soccer is my pick of the week. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Bearcat Update. You can follow us on Twitter at BearcatUpdate_8 or watch all of our previous episodes on YouTube at KNWT8. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Heyo, what is up, guys? Me again. Shocker, right? No, just kidding. To check out last week's episode of Bearcat Update, make sure to click up here, and to watch all of our previous episodes, click down here. See you next week.